Justification. Justification, the means whereby we justify a reason to deny the call of the light, be only loving, and thus make another cry in some way. This little story is about the power of the dark force below to sow its justification via our mind, in which it gives us a justifiable reason to be unkind. It is thus that it binds us personally, spiritually, and invisibly cloaks us in a dark coat that sullies our rainbow coat of many colors. Yes, unkind to others, and thus unkind to ourselves. For we pay for what we do, even if we feel justified to so do, or even if we were mandated by man, and thus falsely empowered to be untrue to the call of the light. For the call of the light is, be understanding of the other's ignorant plight. And thus if the other is a reckless one who is an abuser or does fight, then we must be compassionate and forgiving, and must not them fight. So justification is the means by which the critical mass untrue below does intrude into our minds, and with its justifiable reasoning does overpower our consciousness to the point that we do believe it right to deny the light, and we then proceed to in some way give the other a nosebleed. The critical mass below is untrue only in that it deceives you into being its retributionary arm. It is in fact true to itself, as it is self-empowered to abuse any past offender who walks out of the light into the shadow of the dark night. Try and this see, and of it set yourself free. The dark force via our mind does remind us that errants must for their folly pay, and that it is honourable to punish offenders. It also in our minds does say, if you do not make the other pay, then you are guilty for letting them get away, and thus you are a party to their crime in some way. It also says, you must deny the light and use force to protect the weak and innocent. None seeing that there are no innocents outside heaven, all being abused and called the victim, are but past offenders in the eyes of God, who are but receiving their just due at the hands of others, also untrue. The real victim is the one abusing you. Yes, they became a victim to the darkness, in being overpowered by dark thoughts, and doing what they did to you, thus becoming untrue. For any abuser is a darkness user, be they the simple hunter-gatherer meting out payback, or a mandated policeman or soldier who does you attack. All are errants in God's eyes. Thus the critical dark force does easily divorce us from our sanity via our pride and vanity, and we justifiably point the bone, and verbally or physically cause some pain or punishment to flow upon the miscreant, via a dark deed from our hand. In every system, in every land, are men who gain the negative upper hand, because society demands recompense, and falsely believes that it is just and honourable to make thieves and ignorant rascals pay for their folly. None seeing that any justified denial of God's commandment to only love is in fact a fatal folly on our part, as we, at that moment, step out from under God's brolly of protection, and we get rained on by a shower of invisible, grimy, dark energy that flows through us and contaminates our own soul as we make others groan in some way. So be it the police or customs officer who does his palms grease with a bribe, or a young lout who does your mother clout, all are from the same tribe, being the lost tribe of Israel, who forever bewail their karmic fate, being that other lost tribes do them incinerate for their past folly, when they stepped out from under God's brolly. So please now try and see how easily the satanic force condemned the inhuman planetary society. It over time gained power over vain man, and justifiably did them mentally control, for that is the justifiable fate meted out to the ignorant who outside heaven do stroll. If you are not in heaven, then that is your proof that you in your past did deny God's holy leaven, and thus you fell from grace, and thus you hid your face from God's light and sane reason. This applies to 98% of you. The other 2% planetarily are souls of grace who have come from above into the flesh of this world and are peppered into every race. They will heed me and be true to you, as you soon will be exposed to the reapers of God who live far away from earth's sod. They are past offenders who are spirits of wickedness. Yes, they are spirits less than divine, who are in fact now totally controlled by the dark swine, being the satanic voice below. It will now use them to mentally overpower you from within, being their thoughts projected into your mind via the vibration of your inner sin, and you by them will be justified to kill their enemy, being others in the flesh in front of you who in their past were untrue. Yes, your darkness is visible to the darkness, and none can hide from their accrued dark karmic fate. So be you the policeman, the vagrant, the pensioner, or the pope, all shall hang on the satanic rope, for all have been untrue, and thus has the devil been empowered by you to punish you. I can but warn you all that it is now the time when you could fall into the depths below, where only wickedness does justifiably sow and flow, and retribution does justifiably, under the law of God, get meted out in perpetuity, as man clouts man, all having denied God's only love plan. I thus now tell you all that you cannot avoid the punishment that justifiably awaits all the untrue, for you cannot bribe insane people, who are thus because their minds have been overpowered by dark spirits. No, for they are justified and empowered by the dark to abuse you, for you permitted the dark to stain your own soul with its mark of the beast, and thus is it justified in doing what it will do. It justifiably works via the mind of man that it did bind in their past. Yes, this sin of pride or anger or jealousy, etc., are a part of this cruising shark that you permitted to grow in your soul as you justifiably denied the light. Thus, as you did abuse others or them fight, be it in this life or another time, you did in fact pave the way to the coming plight that soon will by God be justifiably thrust into your face. Dead men, being lost spirits in the dark, can no God see. Thus they know that no God of love there be. So it is up to you to be true, and not heed them in what they want to express through you, which is to destroy offenders, as their minds by the dark side are controlled and inspired to so do. Heed now, my soul of grace, for only I can see God's face, being the one above and the one below, from whence all retribution and punishment is justifiably bestowed upon the untrue. Yes, there is a place below, where hatred and vengeance is justified. Yes, this place also via the mind of man demands that rotting flesh be exhumed to find proof of guilt, and the grisly practice of dissecting dead bodies in the morgue is also carried out to establish guilt. Man is consumed with the need to seek out the defaulter and then punish them or destroy them. Children, the dark already knows who was guilty, and they will not from it get away. It is but seducing the policing force of man to entrap them, so that it can punish them ahead for their arrogance in denying the call of the light. Oh, what a sorry earthly plight! Heed now me, whoever you be, the farmer driving the cows down the road, or the commissioner of police with a dutiful load. It matters not who you be. If you cannot hear me, then you justify your own destiny. That will very painful be. If you can hear me, be you the vagrant or the bouncer who thinks he has diplomatic immunity, then change your deed from today, and thus you lessen the pain coming your way. Yes, you shall all stand in the spotlight of God, and show by your deed the colour and true nature of your seed. It is God now to separate the wheat from the chaff, and none but none during that seminar of pain will laugh. If any of you justify crucifying another by word or deed, because society pays you to implement this control over wrongdoers, then your actions are misspent, and you will repent, I do see. When the result of what is to be is presented to thee at the hands of the vain insane, who will use your flesh to their insanity entertain. The light of God gives you the truth. The messenger of God is the proof, being the one who does say, I did as you evolve the same way, an eternity or two away in the past. I did thus face the satanic blast, and thus do its power know, and thus forever for God do I truth sow. Children, the span of one life on earth is but as one grain of sand. Thus the time you can spend below is as many lifetimes as there are grains of sand on every beach around the Australian land, and more. Try and this see, for from an eternity of suffering would I save thee. I would have it that you avoid falling into the cold darkness and the fiery void. And thus I did return 2,000 years ago to show you by deeded example that to become free from your past you must be crucified as me. Meaning that under the one law of God you will pay for every drop of blood you did spill, and you will suffer any pain you did sow from your mouth or hand, be it mental, emotional, or physical. And if you did any deceive, then for sure you will more grieve. Thus it is in this way, or in the lion's den, we pay for any pain meted out by us on a past day. If your mind lets you down because you feel justified in making your perceived enemy frown, then you will not be able to pay your due. You will remain in an unforgiving and retaliatory mode, yes, justifiably so by thoughts from the Dark One below, who will in your mind say, either, make the other for their folly pay, or, you can defend your flesh and not for pain pay. Thus as you continue to abuse the other, very dark becomes your karmic fate, and you will be late for heaven, and you will meet your dues down below, even if on this level you suffer pain as you continue to control others, and pain upon them bestow. Man is also used by the darkness to justifiably extort money from the other's pot of honey, via the system it controls. It seeks to impoverish you by fine and taxation, and then to destroy you, by justifying in your mind a reason to stand and fight the abomination, being its system that stands in your sight. Yes, man has fallen to its dark inspiration, and every system is now to fall, as man, mentally empowered by dark spirits standing tall, will destroy all, and all burn, for this is what man did earn for his past folly. If you now would extract yourself from your sad plight, then heed me, and never find a justifiable reason to fight. No, do not even work for others who say, "Did you see who stole the bread today? Did you see which way they ran?" If you don't tell us, then you are deemed guilty too. If you in any way contribute to this try by the darkness to get you to join the revengeful lynching of the hungry one, then you are in God's eyes at fault. To be wise, you must heed the call of forgiveness from our God in the skies. Thus you must be as the Chinese and their 3 wise monkeys that say, "See no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil." If you meet the offender on another day, just tell them that for their folly they will pay, but not at your hand, for you understand their ignorant way. Tell them the new way to pray. Let us now find no justification to deny the light. Let us see the miscreant's plight, be they the uncouth youth who bash the public in the street, or the parole boys who are also in the same plight, for all are lost in their mind, as all by the devil are justified in doing what they do, even if they think that for society they are being true. Believe you me, the pot smoker watching television is more wise than the judge, but the pot smoker is equally unwise if he does criticize the way of his sister or brother, or if he despises his mother. So whoever you be, please now heed me. Never justify a reason to be harmful to your own soul. This you do when out of bounds you stroll, by in any way being less than forgiving of the other, less than understanding of the other's way, less than compassionate towards others, less than kind to every sister or brother of any race or tribe. Please now only educate, not regulate and punish, for any punishment meted out for any crime is itself a crime in the eyes of God. Any who mete out punishment are also the ignorant, who themselves will be punished ahead, in this land or another, and truly they will justifiably feel pain and dread. If you are paid by society to enforce acts of impropriety in God's eyes, then believe you me, it is you who ahead will be justifiably abused by others. Let us never find a reason to be less than kind to offenders. Unfortunately for so many regulators, they are already trapped by enacted laws that they must comply to in their control of you, the public. Laws which state, "Fine and incarcerate any who comply not to our laws." It is thus all enforcers of every earthly state will now face the test of pain before reaching hell's or heaven's gate for their denial of God's commandment to only be loving. Any who scheme or plan to bring down any defaulter shall themselves ahead frown. Soon all man's laws will be abolished by me, for of them all will I set you free by the power of my sacred pen. All have abdicated their personal freedom to politicians and religions. Reclaim now your self-sufficient independence and seek a fresh way. Look direct to God. All you have to do each day is to heed the call of the light as you walk your way, as on this last leg of your final spiritual race you plod. Become a torchbearer of light and truth, and be only peaceful on your road. That applies also to the time when you are faced by your adversary, the reaper, being the invisible darkness flowing through another who is walking in the guise of a man unwise. Non-retaliation is the only way, for if you destroy the fleshly man in front of you, it is you who has given in to your own darkness within you that flowed through you from below via your inner sin. Children, it is our Mother, God of love, who speaks to you all via my mind and my voice or my pen. It is also God the Father, within whose weave abide all the forces that can make you grieve. He is the authority who is self-empowered to abuse all who walk in impropriety. If you heed the salvationary wisdom, then you will be saved from his lion's den. Not from the lion roaming around, being people with minds unsound, who pay you back for what you did to others do, when you by it, the lion, were bound. No, you are saved from being sent into the darkness below, where lions maul you forever, for there forever are you untrue, and you no longer have the freedom of thought to choose to be loving or true. You are presently all linked mentally to the dark satanic warrior tribe, way, way below. This is why you all fight for your perceived right. If this you cannot see, then it's time for me to tell you so. I ask, can you now change your retributive way, or will you continue on and fall below, and forever for your folly pay? Children, it is the dark side of God that justifiably abuses you when you are untrue. For the source we call God is both the light and the dark. Try and this see before the soon coming gigantic calamity, at which time the face on hell on earth you will see. For Father now says, that face is my dark face from below confronting thee, and truly merciless will I be. Yes, religion did you deceive when it did say, kneel at our feet, pay us a monetary royalty, and we will in forgiveness wash your sins away. For we have the power to forgive you, as someone already paid the price for you. And through lineage by succession are we authorized to so do. Children, they were deceived for sure. See it from the crusades of the past or the present supposedly justified unholy air raids that rain death down upon my children, or sanctions imposed upon the poor on instruction from many an undemocratic political wolf controlled from Satan's den. All soldiers are of some religion, all being blessed by priests as they walk so courageously into the pits of hell for an eternal spell, deceived by religion. The devil, eons ago, via the mind of vain man, hid his darkness, and his destructive nature, and his intent, and thus has man been so easily deceived through state and religion into believing that he must destroy darkness in others. It, the dark energy in others, cannot be destroyed. For as you kill your sisters and brothers over the hill, or as you in fear pay politicians who use your funds to make war, and landmines to sell for money, it is you to increase the darkness within your own souls, and to also incur a dark, painful debt, even as you sleep. Yea, verily, all soon are to weep. Father speaks again. This error of belief that darkness must be destroyed, and the true nature of the source as being the all, is revealed by my voice. Darkness cannot be destroyed. It exists in my weave, and it must just not by you be used or deployed. You only stopped being chased by it when you stop using it. I said that all will reap what they did sow, and until this you get to know and change your way, there is no forgiveness from me on any day, for I am justified in upholding my one law. I said that all will reap what they did sow, and until this you get to know and change your way, there is no forgiveness from me on any day. That is what I repeat to you. I am speaking to you, the individual, personally, for you hold the destiny of your soul within your own mind. Do not follow the dark way of religion or state, or forever will I, your God, you berate. For the dark deeds perpetuated by religion and state are not done with my love, for none yet heed my dove. Understand that all power is in my hand, and I am justified, and I am the justified inspiration from the pit of the dark land, and I am justified to make all pay, who denied the call of my light to only love on any day. Prepare to now me meet, being my energetic thought through the mind of others, either on a lonely dark street, or in the light of the heavens above, whereas said, all are happy, and only dance and make love. My one law of, as you do is done unto you, cannot be broken. My final word is now spoken. Father,